Alrighty, the next step we working on the shower base. As you can see, we've tiled the walls already all the way from the second row to almost for last row. I will be finishing this maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, but majority of the tile work is done. We still have to finish the niches inside. Right now we're focusing on the floor. The base, we're using sand topping mix. We will pour this product all the way against the pen liner, and then we will tile the floor, and then we will put final pieces. Those are the steps. And yeah, so stay tuned and you'll see how it goes. Working with the pen right now, building cement shower base. This is very important part, to have everything nicely, evenly sloping to the drain, so there will be no issues with drainage. Usually the slope will be 1/4 of an inch per foot, per linear foot, but it all varies. All varies depending on the conditions. Another part of our project will be tiling the shower floor. This is an interesting part of the job. There are certain things that we have to remember about. Of course, one of the very first rules that we have to remember about when tiling shower pan, we cannot use any mastic. We have to use thin set mortar. The good one will be latex modified product that will actually hold very well to the cement. Do not use the wall mastic, it's like glue, because water will destroy it. So for any wet areas, always thin set as a setting component. Yes, one of the rules also here, the way I'm building my shower floor, I'm never tiling all the way to the shower pen liner, or never tiling all the way to the cement. The most recommended way will be to tile at least several inches from the floor, depending how the bottom level of the tiles will appear to work out the best. Leave the space. You see, underlayment is also not going all the way to the shower pen liner. There's a space that I left when putting underlayment. So here actually we have concrete going all the way to the rubberized membrane, to the shower pen liner. You can see this on how it goes. And this is the best way, because if we will sunk the board in a concrete, eventually it will catch moisture. If you have an appropriate board, it's not going to rotten, but it might discolorate grout, it might cause some mold even to appear. So I'm always leaving spacing over here, and the floor, the shower tile, will go all the way as close as it can go to the pen liner, and then the wall tile will sit on top of it. So any water when traveling, it pretty much will nicely travel all the way to the drain versus behind the tile. Yeah, so those are kind of things that are worth of consideration when thinking about shower pen. When it comes to tiling, of course, we have cement that is sloping to the center of the shower, to the drain. Very first thing will be to vacuum it very well from all the debris. So this is first thing, to prepare, clean it, and I'm gonna work on it right now. I'm gonna vacuum it nicely. Okay, so first step, preparation. Once the pen is done, of course, clean it, vacuum it, make sure that it's smooth and flat. To ensure so there's no any dust, debris, because tinted, if the surface is not clean, will not stick to them, will not bond to the concrete, right? So this is another thing. Additionally, what I like to do, I am always grabbing sponge before putting any tile work, and slightly removing any additional debris that might be over there, all small dust, some other small pieces that might cause tinted to not bond that well. If we will wipe it with a wet sponge or wet towel, it will definitely remove all the small stuff. The floor will be very nicely bonding to the cement. So this is something that definitely will be good to do. Of course, before tiling, wait several minutes for this water to vaporize or just get to the concrete. This is, as you can see, another step, and pretty much once this part will be done, I'm gonna start tiling our base. And this is it. So the base is wet now, but it slowly dries, and I'm gonna show you in a few moments the layout of our pieces. Okay, another important part, of course, figuring out the layout. The goal is always, of course, to have the tiles centered as much as we can, and I'm always making sure that we have the same size of the tile against each opposite walls, and maximum on the wall when you walk into the shower, because those are the most visible areas and the most fragile ones. To the curb here, we can avoid this. It doesn't has to be necessary piece exactly same as the other side. Of course, also will be recommended, but do not start with a solid piece from just a corner. Make sure to check how the layout will actually appear. This is what I did right now. This is where actually tile work is gonna start. I've been putting piece to piece, and looks like I have exactly solid pieces going from wall to walls. I don't have to cut anything. So if I have solid pieces over there, of course it would be nice to have solid piece over there. So I'm gonna also start from solid tile against this wall, and this one I have to cut about ½ an inch, which is not that bad. It will look really good still. So and depending on your project, you might have different sizes of the tiles, and you will of course have this figured differently. The goal is to not have really tiny bitty cuts. This is the most important first rule. To have pieces as large as they can be, but not like 1/4 inch or less. So please make sure to double check the layout and have nice large pieces against the walls. This way it will look nice, symmetrical. Yeah. Okay, so yes, what I'm doing, for now I'm laying those pieces without actually gluing them. We're using 2x2 tiles of the mesh. Here where we have a drain, at the drain, what I'm doing, pretty much just cutting out and checking how the drain appears to look, and I'm cutting out the whole section. Later I'm going to do the cutouts out of this square. This one. And another one. And like I said, it appeared that we have exactly solid piece against the wall, which is very nice. Same as the other side. Another step during this project. Right now I'm putting bonus pieces. I'm starting from the roll, pretty much the way we started with the tiles. So I'm not starting from the bottom yet. I'm going to tile the shower curb first before actually setting the bottom pieces, because those always has to go on top of the curb. So the goal is to have the bottom roll of tiles being installed on top of the floor tiles, and of course all the pieces that appears to be around the shower curb on top of the shower curb tiles. This is only this way we're minimizing risk of water penetrating our grout spaces. So I'm using thin set. And another important thing when it comes to finishing the edge, keep in mind that later you will have the shower glass, and the company will have to drill through the tile and install either clips or frame or hinges depending on the fixture. So we want to make sure that there's no empty spaces under the tile, because if there will appear to be too much of the space, the tile will simply crack on the wall. So the goal is to fill as much under the tile as we can, so there's no risk for this to happen. And I have lots of homeowners calling with such issue that tiles broke when shower door company been working on the glass. So I'd rather put a little bit more and later remove it from the sides, because the thin set will nicely spread like you can see here. So I'm going to just remove it, and later of course clean it nicely, and once the spaces are ready to grout, the grout will fill all the remaining gaps, so making this really durable. So I'm working on this here, and of course on the other side same situation. As you can see, I already been working on the niches. I have the back part done. Regarding niches, I have one video, or actually two videos, where I'm showing exact same type of niche, how to finish it, how to build it, how to waterproof it. Same situation with this trims all the way around and nicer pieces on the back. So you can follow up with the other clip that I have. In this case, we're focusing pretty much on the tile work for the walls. What is what, to kind of show you good stuff. I'm using wet sponge always, have it with me to remove any extra setting component from the grout joints from the tile. Sometimes something will fall on the floor, so I'm of course trying to also keep this space pretty clean. Yeah, and like I said, you can use regular spacers. I'm just using those nails. I'm just adjusting all the spaces customly. Bullnose tiles many times are slightly longer or shorter than the rest of the tiles, so this makes using spacers impossible, because everything will be crooked. Here, few words, few shots. Our trim, this piece goes first, then this piece, and I'm working on the side pieces right now, but those are our two shelves that we have already almost finished. The floor will be next to come. And this is our project. So okay, so quick update from the shower pan project. We working on floors, on the floor. We're tiling the floor as well as the whole shower. We have niches already finished. Most of the tile work done. We have bullnose tiles in place. Also on the other side. But yes, another step, I already gave you a few tips. We have the cement already nicely cleaned and ready for a thin set. We're working on the cuts right now, as I previously mentioned. We're making sure to have the tile work as center as possible with the entire shower. Most of the times also we will have the drain centered. In this case our drain is a little bit off simply because the joists appears to be exactly in the center of the floor, so there was nothing really I could do, because I'm not going to notch the joist and lose the strength of it just to have the drain centered. So it's a little bit off. Not really a lot, it's not going to really stand out when tile work will be finished. But yes, so I've laid all the pieces that are solid. We have solid piece against this wall is also solid over there, and here this one will be just a little bit shorter. But right now, before I will start tiling the floor, I have to figure the drain cutout. And what I'm doing, I have this square that I cut it out from the tile that I had. Okay, everything looks pretty good. What's happening now, through the spaces, through the grout spaces, I can see the edges of the drain. You cannot see it really here, but if you look closer, you can see the edges. So what I'm gonna do, the round circle that the trim that I unscrewed, I'm pretty much placing the way it appears to be when the drain is actually. So this is where our drain is located, and what I will do, I'm going to mark the line all the way around, transfer the shape to the tile. Then because of the drain has a little bit of a lip, I will pretty much add 1/8 of an inch all the way around for the cutout, for the thickness of this plastic that is over there. So actually our cutout will be 1/8 of an inch larger than this metal piece. And like I said, it's pretty easy. I mean, if you will look nicely over there, you can see the drain exactly where it is through the grout spaces. So this is the next step. This is the next thing for me to do. Okay. Let me make sure that this is how it's gonna appear to be. Okay, this is it. And then I'm gonna use the hand cutting tool, grinder, to do a little bit of it, and the rest with the wet saw. Okay, so I think that's it. Marking it. And you see, this is what we got. See, this is where the drain is. I'm gonna put this right now here, because it kind of got disfigured when I was working it over there. And I'm gonna just follow up, and I'm gonna show you how to cut it out actually in a moment. I'm gonna go downstairs and we'll cut it so you can see what's going on. Okay, so I'll be cutting out this circle with this 4-inch blade that I have with my grinder. So what I'm doing, pretty much following the line first, and then I will do the rest of the cutout with the wet saw. So you just look at and you see how that's done. Okay, so once I have those lines kind of marked, I will continue cutting out this with the wet saw, because wet saw gives us way more cleaner cuts, way nicer edging, so I can nicely cut this shape with the wet saw. Okay, so I have all the cuts ready. You've seen it how I've been working on these. Of course, I'm just checking how they will fit. Everything looks like it will fit really nice. So another step, we've been cutting this tile that actually will go to the curb. So now another step will be for me to ensure that this is actually something that will work. Looks pretty good so far. Okay. So I'm placing those pieces before starting tiling, just checking if everything is done correctly, because once we start tiling, once we have thin set on the floor, it will be too messy to really do any corrections later. So the good thing is to check, and as you can see, everything's perfect. So another step will be start tiling. The way I'm working, I'm always removing certain sections of the floor, and I'm tiling in stages. And let me show you how this is done. This is going to be our first part. And I'm applying thin set to the tile that I left. Daj Piotrek, żeby było wszystko widać tam, gdzie ja sparuję, tak widać, nie?
To widzę.
Że tak kurde też. Be very careful because we're getting really close to shower pen liner, and we don't want to hit it with the sharp edge of the saw. So be gentle, do not cause any accidental holes, because you will ruin the whole work of yours. Okay, and I'm starting from the very first piece, first roll of tiles. I'm ensuring that everything is lining with the pieces next to them. Of course, we have to put a little bit of a pressure to ensure good bonding. Yeah, no, once again, the important part to have the floor of the shower, because this is very fragile part of each shower project, durable and no grout cracking remember to tile the shower floor before actually tiling walls. So the wall tiles will go on top of the shower floor. This way your tiles on a pan will last way longer. Yeah, so we pretty much will continue this process on the other side with the remaining pieces. No point to show you how I'm doing that because it's obvious what's next. Right. So this is we finished here. You can see it's nice and smooth. Everything slopes to the center of the shower. Let me show you maybe one more real quick. Should I? See, I have those pieces out and getting ready for center part of the shower floor. The goal also is to have even amount of mortar all over the surface. This way there's no any tinsel coming through the grout joint. The installation looks very clean, goes very smooth. Okay, I think we're ready. So here we have another sheet of 2x2 pieces on the mesh. Once again, 2x2 is one of the most recommended sizes for the shower pan. This way, tiles nicely shaping to the shape of the floor, allowing water to drain faster. There's no any corners sticking out higher or lower. What happens often when we're using larger pieces, they are extremely hard or impossible, I would say, to lay correctly on the shower floor. They also get way more slippery. 2x2 gives us more traction, obviously, right? So make sure that the pieces that you'll be using, are not slippery. See, with this technique, the way I'm working, when it comes to this smaller mosaic pieces 2 by 2, it's pretty convenient because we know exactly up front what we're getting. We have all the cuts ready, there's no surprises, there's no setting components drying on the floor before we will do all the cuts. So I like to have everything ready, measured, figured, so there's no surprises later. And that's important. Okay. Another one. As you see, everything is nicely shaping. Everything is nicely figured. This is what I like. So once again, we're not just starting tiling from the corner. The very important part is to figure what we have, what size of cuts will appear to be on certain ends to make it look the most correct way, the most symmetrical way possible. I'm checking if there's no any corners sticking out or any tiles sticking out or any of them being actually lower. Another step, once I have this part pretty much finished, I have one more row of tiles to put over there, but now I will work on this drain. So what we have those small pieces that I've been cutting out. The goal always is to have those pieces almost flush with the drain. We don't want the drain to be way lower. Very important will be to have the drain flush with the tile work. It can be a little bit lower, but not really a lot. So this is also how I have the shower pan prepared, to the thickness, remembering about thickness of the tiles. I have 4 more pieces. For smaller pieces, what I'm doing, I'm always putting some thin set on the back so they can bond better. If there's some mortar going through the joints, that's no problem. It can be cleaned later. The goal is to have those pieces holding well to shower floor. here our last piece is the tiniest one, so I'm putting some extra amounts of thinset all the way around to make sure that it will stay where it's supposed to. Okay, so we have one more roll. I'm gonna finish it, and yeah, so this is it. This is how it's done. Those are nice clean cuts, and we're moving forward pretty good.